Hello and welcome to Prego Coding Classes. This is Amber Roy. In this video, you will learn about how to implement Admob to your project so that you can earn a bit of loyalty through Google Ads for your hard work which went into making your Android application. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Now there are several types of ads which you can use in your project, but in this video I will show you two types of ads which we will be implementing in our Android Studio project. Now the first one is a banner ad and the second one is an interstitial ad. The banner ad is which shows up like a banner at the bottom or at the top. The interstitial ad is an ad which takes up the whole screen. It can appear between switching activities, it can appear in between clicker events, anywhere you can place it. So to start off everything, we'll first create an Android Studio project, a new Android Studio project rather. So start new Android Studio project, and over here we'll select an empty activity, next. Then we'll write here Admob example project, and make sure this is set to Java and API 15 is fine. So that's it, finish, and let it sync. So we'll wait until it syncs. So our project has been synced completely. Now let's jump over to Admob website. The link would be given in the description box, and I'll just tell you the name of the website. It's admob.google.com/home. Now over here you need to sign up, but make sure you do not use multiple accounts to use Admob, because Admob deletes or restricts your duplicate accounts and only makes you use a primary account. So I have faced this problem recently, so do not use multiple accounts in Admob. Now as I am signed up, I need to sign in now. So I'll just hit sign in and wait for it. So our Admob account has been signed in, and over here you can see a home screen, our dashboard, and here you can see your estimated Admob network earnings, and it is showing 0. And recently I have applied Admob to a project and I have tested that, so there are 9 requests over here, you can see that. But you won't see this screen, I guess, when the Admob starts. But as I'm seeing this screen, so over here I'll just hit apps and I'll add an app. And over here I'll select Android. Have you published your app on Google Play or the App Store? No. And the app name is Admob app. As for Android, hit add, and this is your app ID. Now do not use this ID, we'll use a test ID. If you use this ID, they might sustain your account, and do not use this ID until unless you build a release version of your app. So I'll do it later. Now over here you can see our app has been created. Now we need to add an unit. So over here we'll select banner ads, and we need interstitial ads also. So first off we'll select banner ads, and ad format is banner. Ad unit name, I'll say Admob unit name, create ad unit. So ad unit has been created. Now we won't use any of these because, as I've said, we are using it for test purposes, so you will use only test IDs for creating your test app. So create another ad unit, yes, and we'll select interstitial ad, and we'll say Admob interstitial, create ad unit, and that is done. So we have created a banner ad unit and an interstitial ad unit. Now we will need this stuff when we create our release build. So over here we'll go to the documentations and see how this thing works, how to implement this thing in our Android application. Now this documentation link would be given in the description box also. So first of all, the prerequisites are, I'm so sorry, the Android Studio version should be 1.0 or higher that you're working on. And the target Android API level is 14, but we are using 15, that is ice cream sandwich. So that is also good. Now over here down below we can see we need to implement some dependencies, that is this one, play services ads. Now we'll copy this one and paste it in the Gradle module, and over here we'll just paste it and we will sync it. So after syncing it, you can see there is a red mark over the app compat, so we need some support libraries. Now I'll just set up the support libraries and I'll get back to you again. So now as you can see, the red error is gone and my support libraries are over here set up correctly and my Gradle is synced up properly. Now we can close the app and get back to the Admob documentation. And over here we can see down below it says we need to add a metadata to our Android manifest. Now we can just copy this and open our Android Studio project, go to Android manifest, and over here under the application we'll just paste the metadata, and as I said, we'll use a test Admob app ID. So over here we can see the app ID is given. Now this is a test app ID. You will use this one to test it, not the original one that you have got. So we'll use it here, we'll paste it, or rather do one thing. Let's keep it like this and go to resources, values, then strings, and over here we'll create string name equals app ID and we'll paste it here. So in the manifest what we can say is at string app ID. That's it. Now it's set up. So let's see what's next. So underneath we need to initialize the mobile ad SDK. So how to initialize that? It's mobile ads initialize, then your activity name or your context, then your app ID. So we'll go to the main activity.java, under on create we'll say mobile ads dot initialize this and our app ID. So we have stored our app ID in a string, so we'll say get string, then r dot string dot app ID, and that's it. Our mobile ad is initialized now. So let's see what's next. Now let's select an ad format. So first we'll implement the banner ad. So over here we'll select implement the banner ad, and underneath let's see what it is asking for. It is asking to implement the ad view which will contain the banner ad in the main activity XML. So we'll go to main activity XML in the text tab and we'll just paste it, and we'll use our unit ID. So let's see what is our unit ID, and our unit ID is the test ID that is over here. Let's see the preview, what it is showing. Okay, we need to constrain it from every side. Now let's constrain this. Left, bottom, and top, and we'll place it down below. Okay, now the error is gone. It is totally constrained. Now let's close the XML and see what is next. We'll just scroll down. Okay, you can also add the banner ad through your coding in the main activity.java, but I prefer this one because this is quite easy to implement that. And let's scroll down to load an ad. Now to load an ad, you need to initialize a variable for the ad view. So first let's initialize a variable for ad view, private ad view, add view. Now under the mobile ads.initialize, we'll say add view equals find view by id r.id.add view. Okay, and let's see what is next. So next it is saying add request. So add request would be new add request.builder, so that we send the add request, then the ad pops up. So we'll say add request equals new add request dot builder dot build, and let's see what's next. Next is load add request. So we'll say add view dot load add request. Now you can also give a listener for this, so if any error occurs you can log the error. So we'll just write here private static final string tag equals add view, and that's it. Now down below we'll write add view dot set add listener, new add listener. We'll just backspace on the first bracket and we'll give a curly brace, and in here after the curly brace we'll give a first bracket, and over here we'll initialize all the methods that is needed to listen to the add view. So we'll go to the documentation, and first one is on add loaded, second one is on add failed to load. So we'll use the on add failed to load. You can also refer to this methods over here. So on add failed to load, we'll just trigger the failures. So on add failed to load, then we'll say on add closed, on add closed. Okay, let's also trigger on add clicked and on add loaded. So we'll delete the super from here and we'll say log dot d tag comma add failed to load. Over here we'll delete this one, log dot d tag add closed, semicolon over here, and over here when the ad is clicked we'll say log. We're just logging everything so that we know when we are clicking it when the ad is getting closed. So we'll say ad is clicked. Here there will be only one D, not two Ds. So over here we'll say log dot d tag ad is loaded semicolon. Now we can run our app and see if the banner ad is opening or not. So as you can see here, our app has been loaded in our emulator and the test ad has been successfully implemented. As it says, nice job, this is a 320 into 50 test ad. So let's continue with the interstitial ad. For that we need to go to the Admob developer page again, or the documentations again, and we'll click on interstitial. On opening the page, let's scroll down and see how to implement that. Well, this interstitial ad is quite easy. So first of all, we need to create another activity. You can do it anyhow you want, but I want to do it in between changing activities. So I'll create another activity, new activity, empty activity, and okay, let it be main activity 2. So let's finish it and wait for it to sync. So as our main activity 2 has synced, we'll go to our main activity.java and we'll say, okay, let's go to the XML first, layout and activity main XML, and we'll see what is the ID of the text view. It's text view only. So go to main activity Java and we'll write here private text view, and we'll initialize it down below, cast component, and we'll write here text view equals text view find view by id r.id.text view. So we have casted the component. Now we need an on-click listener on this component. So underneath we'll say text view on-click listener to change activity. Text view dot set on-click listener new view on-click listener, and we'll just start the second activity, that is main 2 activity. So start activity new intent. We'll say main activity dot this to main 2 activity dot class, and that's it. Now we can start implementing the interstitial ad. So we'll go back to the documentation and we'll see how to do it. So it's private interstitial ad and then the variable. So first we'll implement the variable. We'll say private interstitial ad, and then what we need is to initialize this interstitial ad and set the ad unit. So over here we'll do it down below the initialization of the app ID. Interstitial ad code. So we'll say interstitial ad equals new interstitial ad, and underneath we'll say set unit ID. So interstitial ad dot set unit ID. We need a test unit ID. So this is the test unit ID. We'll use this. Copy and paste it here. That's it. We are done. Now again the reminder, always test with test ads. So next we need the ad request again. So we'll say underneath this is interstitial ad dot load ad new add request dot builder dot build, and then we'll say, when we scroll down, we need to show the ad. So we'll show the ad when we change our activity. So we'll go to the on-click event over here, this one, and before the activity starts, we'll say interstitial ad dot show, and that is it. Nothing has to be done. Okay, now we can run the program. I think don't think there is anything else. There is also a set ad listener, but we won't add this one, but you can obviously do it. It's my personal choice that I'm not doing it. Now let's run the program and see if this thing is working or not. So as you can see here, our application has been loaded, and bottom there is a banner ad, and when you hit the hello world text, the second activity opens up, and when you hit back, you see there is an interstitial ad. You can also close this. So some questions and answers about Admobs, only applicable to the released versions of the applications and not for the test ads. The first question is, how many days does it take for the first ad to show? Well, the answer is, after you create an Admob account, it takes 24 hours to 48 hours to get activated and for the first ad to show up. And the second question is, why isn't my ad showing after uploading in Play Store? Well, the answer is, this problem is happening with most of the users, but I think the ad showing depends on the number of persons using your app and the request count. The third question is, how many types of ads are there? So the answer is, there are several types of ads which you can see in the Admob documentation page. Implementing them is also easy, so play with them all. If you have any more questions, do drop them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. So that's it for this video. Follow me on Twitter on my Twitter handle, that is @codingprego, which is given in the description box down below. And if you want to support this channel with any sort of donations of any amount, donation links are also given in the description box. Do check them out. The source code of this project is also given in the description box. Click the link and download the project if you are having any problem. So thank you. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye. If you have liked the video, hit the like button, then the subscribe button, and then the bell icon.